Few figures in the wizarding world inspire as much debate as Severus Snape. Was he a hero, a villain, or something in between? To understand Snape, one must delve deep into the shadows of his past, the choices that defined him, and the sacrifice that would shape the fate of the wizarding world. His story is a tale of pain, regret, and ultimately redemption, woven through the very heart of Harry Potter's journey. But can his actions truly absolve him? Or does his legacy remain tainted by the darkness he once embraced? Severus Snape was born into hardship, the only child of the witch Eileen Prince and the muggle Tobias Snape. His childhood, spent in the dreary town of Spinner's End, was marked by neglect and emotional turmoil. A boy of immense magical talent, but little warmth in his home, he sought solace in the study of spells, particularly the dark arts. His friendship with Lily Evans, a muggle-born girl with an equally prodigious gift for magic, was the one bright light in his otherwise bleak world. But from the start there were fractures in their bond, fractures that would one day shatter their friendship forever. Hogwarts was a place of promise for Snape, but also of division. Sorted into Slytherin, he found camaraderie among those who would later become Death Eaters, including Lucius Malfoy and Bellatrix Black. His passion for magic flourished, particularly in potions and spell invention. Yet his fascination with the dark arts deepened, and his need for acceptance within his house led him down a perilous path. It was here that his duality became most apparent. On one side, the brilliant student with a sharp mind, on the other, the lonely outcast whose bitterness festered into cruelty. And it was in this cauldron of ambition and resentment that he would make his first grave mistake. The turning point in Snape's life came in a single fateful moment. After being humiliated by James Potter, his longtime tormentor, he lashed out at Lily with a word that could not be taken back: mudblood. This moment of anger and pride cost him the only true friendship he had ever known. Desperate to reclaim what was lost, he apologized, but the damage had been done. Lily, heartbroken by his choices and the company he kept, walked away. And so, with the door to the light closed, Snape walked further into the shadows, seeking belonging in a world that promised power, but not love. The allure of power led Snape into the ranks of Lord Voldemort's followers. As a Death Eater, he excelled in potion making and spellcraft, creating powerful incantations like Sectum Sempra, evidence of his growing mastery of magic. But Snape's intelligence set him apart from many of Voldemort's more reckless followers. He was not merely a servant of the Dark Lord, he was an inquisitor of forbidden knowledge, one who sought control in a world that had long denied him any. Yet even as he advanced within Voldemort's ranks, he remained blind to the full consequences of his allegiance until the prophecy changed everything. A single overheard prophecy, delivered by Sybil Trelawney and repeated by Snape to his master, would become his deepest regret. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches. Voldemort's interpretation was swift and merciless. The prophecy referred to a child, either Neville Longbottom or Harry Potter, born to those who had thrice defied him. When Voldemort marked Harry as his equal, Snape's world crumbled. For the first time, the price of his choices became clear. Lily Evans, now Lily Potter, was in mortal danger. The woman he had loved all his life was now a target of the very master he had sworn to serve. In desperation, Snape did something that would define the rest of his existence. He begged, not for his own life, nor even for James Potter's, but for Lily's. He turned to Voldemort, pleading for her to be spared, and when that failed, he went to Albus Dumbledore, offering anything, everything, if only she could be saved, but it was too late. Voldemort did not show mercy. The Potters were betrayed, James was struck down, and Lily, defiant until the very end, died protecting her son. Snape arrived at Godric's Hollow too late to change fate, and the sight of Lily's lifeless body broke something in him that would never heal. It was in this moment of grief that Snape truly switched allegiances. He did not care about the fall of the Dark Lord or the politics of war. He cared only that his actions had led to Lily's death, and so he made a vow to Dumbledore to protect Harry Potter, the last remnant of the woman he had loved. It was not love for the boy himself, nor duty to the light, but a debt, a penance, that would bind Snape to Harry's fate forever. From that day forward, Severus Snape became a spy, a double agent, a man who walked the thin line between two worlds, never truly belonging to either. From the outside, Snape's position at Hogwarts seemed almost unchanged. He remained the bitter, sharp-tongued potions master, loathed by students and feared by many. But beneath the surface, he was playing the most dangerous game of all. As a double agent, he fed Voldemort carefully crafted half-truths while working tirelessly to shield Harry from harm. It was a thankless task. Harry, bearing his father's face and his mother's eyes, was a constant reminder of everything Snape had lost. The boy's resemblance to James Potter, the man who had humiliated him for years, only deepened Snape's resentment. And yet, despite his cruelty, Snape was the unseen guardian who ensured Harry survived time and again. His role was never more evident than during Harry's first year at Hogwarts. While Harry suspected Snape of trying to steal the Philosopher's Stone, in reality, Snape was working to protect it. He countered Quirrell's jinx during the Quidditch match, subtly aided Dumbledore's defenses, and even attempted, albeit through sheer animosity, to prevent Harry from reckless heroics. But Snape's protection was never kind. His approach was ruthless, ensuring Harry never suspected his true role. It was a method born of necessity. Should Voldemort ever return, Snape's position as a spy depended on his ability to maintain the illusion of hostility. As the years passed, his double life became even more precarious. His actions were shrouded in ambiguity. Was he acting for Dumbledore, for himself, or for the ghost of a woman long dead? He saved Harry when necessary, but never allowed gratitude to form. He tormented Neville Longbottom, perhaps because of his mother's fate as an alternative to Lily in the prophecy. His punishments were harsh, his methods unorthodox, and his allegiances deliberately murky. Even the Order of the Phoenix distrusted him, despite Dumbledore's unwavering faith. But Snape did not seek trust, nor did he crave redemption. His only purpose was to fulfill the vow he had made over Lily's corpse. That vow became all-consuming when Draco Malfoy was assigned an impossible task: to kill Albus Dumbledore. With the Dark Lord's return, Snape's position was more vital than ever, but now he was bound by yet another promise. Narcissa Malfoy, desperate to save her son, extracted from Snape an unbreakable vow. He would protect Draco, and if necessary, complete the task for him. It was the ultimate test of his duplicity. When the fateful night arrived and Draco hesitated on the astronomy tower, Snape stepped forward and uttered the killing curse. To the world, he had finally shown his true colors. To Harry, he had become the murderer of the only man who had ever believed in him. But only Snape and Dumbledore knew the truth. The act was not betrayal, but sacrifice. With Dumbledore dead by his hand, Snape became Voldemort's most trusted lieutenant, ascending to the position of headmaster at Hogwarts. To the world, he was a traitor, a Death Eater who had seized power in the Dark Lord's new order. To Harry, he was the final, unbearable obstacle standing in the way of hope. But the truth was far more complex. Snape's rule over Hogwarts was one of quiet resistance. Though he upheld Voldemort's regime in appearance, he worked from within to shield students where he could, defying the Carrow's brutality and ensuring that rebellion, though costly, was never entirely stamped out. Yet the weight of his secrets became an unbearable burden. With Dumbledore gone, Snape had no confidence, no reassurance that his sacrifices were not in vain. He carried out his mission alone, knowing that one day it would demand the ultimate price. For there was one final truth that Dumbledore had entrusted to him, a truth that changed everything. The night Voldemort tried to kill Harry, he left something behind, a fragment of his own soul. Harry was not just the boy who lived. He was the final Horcrux, and one day he would have to die for Voldemort to be truly defeated. It was this truth that led to Snape's final act of defiance. When Voldemort sought to claim the Elder Wand, he wrongly believed that its true allegiance lay with Snape, not realizing that it had passed to Draco and, eventually, to Harry. In his relentless pursuit of power, Voldemort turned on his most loyal servant, unleashing Nagini upon him in the Shrieking Shack. As he lay dying, Snape did not beg for mercy. He did not curse the master he had served, nor the enemies who would never understand his role. Instead, he did the one thing that had guided him all his life. He looked into Harry's eyes, the same green eyes that had once belonged to Lily, and gave him the memories that would finally reveal the truth. And in that moment, as his life faded away, Severus Snape was no longer a spy, nor a villain, nor a hero. He was simply a man who had loved, lost, and spent a lifetime paying the price. In the end, the truth about Severus Snape came too late for Harry to see him as anything but an enemy. But as he pored over Snape's memories in the Pensier, the illusion shattered. He saw a frightened boy who had clung to the only love he had ever known, a man who had played a deadly game to atone for his greatest mistake, and a protector who had never asked for gratitude. Snape's life had been defined by sacrifice, of love, of honor, of even his own identity, so that the son of his greatest enemy and his greatest love could survive. When Harry walked into the Forbidden Forest to meet his fate, he did so with the knowledge that Snape had given him the final piece of the puzzle. He now understood what had driven the man who had despised him so openly. It was not hatred, but pain, not malice, but duty. Snape had spent years ensuring Harry could meet this moment, had been the unseen guardian who had paved the way to Voldemort's downfall. He was not a hero in the traditional sense. He had caused suffering, made cruel choices, and reveled in his bitterness. But he was not a villain either. He was something far more complicated, a man who had chosen the hardest path of all. In the years that followed, history would remember Snape as one of the bravest men Harry had ever known. He ensured that his name lived on, not as a Death Eater, nor as a traitor, but as a protector. He named his son Albus Severus, a tribute to both the headmasters who had shaped his destiny. And so, Severus Snape, the boy from Spinner's End, the man who had walked the line between darkness and light, found his place in the world, not as the villain many had believed him to be, nor as the hero he never sought to become, but as the one who had loved, and in loving had redeemed himself. And that is the tragic story of Severus Snape. A hero, a villain, perhaps neither, or perhaps both, but above all, a man who gave everything and asked for nothing in return.